Okay, this is actually a working B-17 Flying Fortress. They're in here for annual maintenance, so this thing is massive. It's props. So I'm gonna walk around it. Here's the tail gunner. I mean, I just can't imagine sitting there under combat. I mean, it's amazing how cramped. Those guys had some lot bigger balls than our generation does this day and age, I can tell you what. Those were great guys. He's going to tell us about the ball turret.
This is actually the door that the gunner would enter. So this was this position that was stowed in for takeoff and landing, because if the guns were rotated down, obviously they would scrape the ground. So this was a takeoff and landing position. Once they took off, headed out over the channel, and they were approaching airspace where they needed it, get into their crew positions, the ball would be rotated. It didn't retract. This was fixed, but it could be rotated down to where the guns could point almost all the way down, and it rotated 360 degrees. It was his job to protect the bottom of the aircraft. So after takeoff, it would rotate here on this pivot joint. The door, this door, would then be up inside the fuselage.
Okay,
that makes sense. The crew would remove this, and he would stand in the ball. See that red thing right up in there?
Okay.
Looks like a little stirrup.
Yep.
He would stand in there with his feet, and he would crunch himself down, and they'd put that door in. His back was here, his head was right up here, and there's his sight looking right down through the twin 50s. Wow. So if you can imagine, those twin 50s are going off right here by his head.
Yeah. Now,
Sub-zero of 40 degrees below zero.
Wow.
Sometimes, and not pressurized. It's not a pressurized aircraft. Sometimes their heated flying suits would fail. Sometimes their oxygen masks would freeze.
And they were done real quick.
From spit, vomit, being injured. Their heated flying suits would sometimes fail. Sometimes they wouldn't work. Frostbite on your hands.
So what was the size of a guy in there?
I mean, talked to a guy named Fred Piper. I saw him up in Prescott a couple years ago. He was 6 foot, and he was a ball turret gunner.
Wow.
That's what he told me.
So that's a big guy to get in there.
Big guy. I'm about almost 6'1". I don't think I could get in. But they were leaner fellas.
Right. Wow.
But I think it was common to get the shorter fella.
Someone that's like 5'8".
Right.
It's like 150 pounds.
Yeah.
How many sorties does this Fortress fly? I mean, roughly. If
these planes were really, to my understanding, these planes were really only designed to fly 25 missions. Maybe 100.
Their service life, and then they're done.
Right. This aircraft didn't see combat time in World War II. It had a lot of post-World War II service for the Air Force. Then it fought fires for many years before it ended up here. But that was basically, they didn't expect to see these things with the number of hours.
25 sorties and they're done. Wow.
That 25 sortie limit initially wasn't in place when the war first started. That was instituted because losses were high and morale was starting to get really poor.
Yeah, that makes sense, because the crew wouldn't want to.
Exactly.
I mean,
so they instituted that, and morale seemed to improve just a little bit. So if guys could see the light at the end of the tunnel, maybe I might actually survive, because on some bombing raids it was 50 to 60% bombing losses.
Wow. Wow, thank you.
You betcha.